Oh, good morning again, everybody. So, this is going to be a first for me for this channel. I have not reacted to anything regarding, politics ever before. But, I was already listening to this, so I figured, why not give my take on this mess? But before I get into giving my take on this mess, I'd like to clarify that I am not at all, in any way, shape, or form, um, a Democrat or a Republican. I am an independent voter. Originally, Russ was registered as a Republican because, when you live when you're a Florida man, you got to do that by default. But I made sure to have it changed because, yeah. So, anyway, this is, I think, if I remember right, by who the heck was it by? The Wall Street Journal. Okay. Full debate. Harris versus Trump in 2024 ABC News presidential debate. Wall Street Journal. And this is 2 months ago, so I know I'm a bit late, but better late than never. Let's get into it. I don't know when the heck it starts exactly. Okay. 6 minutes and 32 seconds. I'll just start from there.
Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
Okay, yes. Now, I don't want to sound really ignorant here, but I did not vote for either of these two. Didn't bother voting at all. Cause, let me tell you something. When it comes to stuff like this, okay, I personally feel like, one is just as bad as the other. Honestly, I mean, if you like Vice President Harris, fine. If you like Trump, fine. I could care less who people want to vote for, but me, I'm not. I'm more interested in entertainment instead of anything regarding politics, personally. So I know, there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, well, then don't talk about it if you have no interest in it. So that's why, you know, that's why I know there are going to be people that are going to get mad at me for giving my opinion and are going to tell me to mind my business. So that's why I don't discuss politics. I'm only doing it this time because, content.
I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support.
In most cases, yes. In most cases, yes.
To raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that.
See, the main issue here, one of the main issues here that she raised during this mess was obviously abortion, because she got on Trump about the whole abortion ban thing, because Trump has been very, very into abortion bans. And she was like, well, he shouldn't be allowed to tell a woman what she should do with her body. And he said, well, there's no reason for me to sign an abortion ban, and et cetera, et cetera. Which I mean, I honestly just hope he don't. I really hope he don't, because I have already stated that I am pro-choice and I will always be pro-choice.
We have given in a long time so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is
Which is what
a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, yeah. That's what that is that is going to be, yeah, that will be tax. That will be somewhat of a. It's not really going to be that big of a sales tax, but it will be kind of a big sales tax on, yeah, like she said, everyday goods, everyday things that people buy.
on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle class people paying for.
Okay, $4,000 a year. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is going to cause some problems for most people. Not a lot of people. Not everybody's going to have problems because of that, but there are people that will have problems because of that.
Tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial
Are they? Are they really? Are they really?
in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen.
A country buster. A country buster. Sir, you incited a mob of your supporters to overthrow the Capitol. That was a big country buster. Oops.
Before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were.
And he also brings up like something really dumb, another really dumb thing in this debate, saying, "Oh, I said peacefully protest. I said peacefully protest." You really think these people are going to listen to you? You really think these people are going to listen to you? Like the "Make America Great Again" wave. A lot of them are nuts. A lot of them are nut jobs. A lot of them are wacko. So, you can't expect everybody to just be on board with, "Oh yeah, go and peacefully protest. Go and peacefully protest." No, there's going to be violence. There will be violence. And that's what happened.
Just a few years ago, this has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane
Okay,
asylums.
and you know what? You know what? I'm sorry, but neither of you are ever going to be able to do anything to fix that problem. That's always going to be a thing, no matter who's president. I don't think we're ever going to see any true jail reform, in my honest opinion, at least. because like there's always going to be problems with prisons. Jails are always going to have issues, regardless of whoever is in office. I'm just throwing that out there.
They're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also union.
And before, before somebody goes ahead and leaves me a comment saying, "Oh, Russ, you're so ignorant." No, I've done my research. I've done my research on how bad a lot of prisons are. It's like it's too much of a mess. It's too much of an issue in every state. In every state.
Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous.
And even if they didn't allow them to come over here, they still would have found ways to get here regardless. People, like nobody's ever going to seem to understand that criminals that want to get across the border, they're going to find ways to get across it. They're going to find ways to get across it. They're going to find ways to, not have to deal with the border patrol and all of that security that is over at the border, because people that want to commit, somebody who wants to commit a crime, they're going to find a way to do it, regardless of the repercussions, regardless of the outcome. Like, all of this stuff with immigrants, I agree. I absolutely 100% agree that immigrants should not be allowed here illegally. They shouldn't. They shouldn't be allowed here illegally. If somebody wants to come over here from another country, another part of the world, wherever, they should be allowed to be here legally. Legally. But he, a while back, I think it was at one of his other rallies, if I'm not mistaken, decided to go ahead and label all Mexican people as rapists. So that was another huge turnoff for me personally in terms of his views, because like you stereotyping an entire race of people like that. And a lot of his other comments, like a lot of the things that he said about Vice President Harris during this race were misogynistic, sexist to a lot of people. And that's why, there were a lot of people that did end up voting for her instead of him, because of the comments, mainly because of the comments that he made towards her.
They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history.
Yeah, we do got to get them out. We do got to get them out. We do got to get them out. I agree, we do. But we're not going to get them out if you tell everybody that you want that wall. The situation with the wall, like, build the wall. I remember that. He wanted to have Mexico fund a huge wall across nearly every inch of the border, because he thought that was what would be another thing that would keep illegal immigrants out of here. And like, no, a wall, like, no matter how big it is not going to prevent crime. It's not.
Our country,
because people are going to, as I already stated, find ways around it.
I'll do it
or try to find ways around it.
again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security.
He'll do it again and even better. All right. I'm sure he will.
during this debate, but I would like to let Vice
We'll see. We'll see. We will definitely see.
President
I'm clutching my pearls.
Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression.
That I can agree on. But the thing of it is like that's another thing that's always going to be a problem, regardless of who's in office. Like these issues, okay. Oh my God, these issues are. A lot of these issues will never truly be fixed. Period. Like unemployment will forever be, it's like a never-ending problem. Take it from me, right? How everybody's always been on me. Oh, Russ, why can't you find a job? Stuff like that's why. Like the unemployment rates, and it's not just only me. There's a lot of other people that just cannot find work because of how bad the unemployment stuff is.
Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is
I mean, somewhat.
build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old.
Yeah, one of the main things that she, that people are well aware of, that she wanted to do, had she beaten Trump in the election, was she wanted to have, I think, if I remember right, I'm not sure if it was conversion therapy or I think it was actually gender reassignment stuff for jail inmates. One of the two, I have no clue. But yeah, that was another thing that a lot of people had a really big issue with, was, her wanting to do horrific stuff, quote unquote, to transgender jail inmates.
Tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know.
No, the thing of it is she will mainly be a president for women that only want one thing, which is abortion rights. And that's it. That's like, everybody knows that was one of the only issues that she really gave a fuck about, was women's right to an abortion. That's it.
She knows better than anyone. I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there.
Sir, that is a lie. That is a lie, because you most certainly do. I have read a lot of stuff. Russ, this is you need to stop believing the fake news. You need to stop believing the fake news. It's not fake news. It's not fake news. No, he absolutely is involved in every way, shape, and form with something that is known as Project 2025. Him and his campaign. And his incoming administration will be most likely heavily involved with it too.
I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
You're not going to read it because you don't like the truth. He doesn't like when the truth is told about anything that he does. He doesn't.
was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create
You're an open book unless you do something that he don't want you to do.
a great economy like I did before.
Excuse me. He's an open book unless you do something that he doesn't like or that he doesn't want you to do.
We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not.
Well, that was nobody's fault. Yeah, that was nobody's fault. The coronavirus was absolutely nobody's fault. But you did not really handle it that well. You didn't handle the pandemic that well. He really did not.
Since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it? We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic.
No, I'm sorry. No, you did not. Not really. Not really. Not really. Like the main thing with the pandemic was the whole issue with people, the social distancing. Oh, stay how many feet away from each other if you're sick or whatever. And then the masks. The masks. The masks were another big problem because a lot of people, there were arrests all over the place for people violating statewide curfews when it came to the coronavirus, and also for people not wearing masks when there were mandatory things in place for masks. But whatever.
We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were
because to a lot of people, it just was not a great job. It just was not a great job. It just wasn't, bottom line.
Jobs bounced back, and it bounced back, and it went to their benefit, but I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
So, Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you
neither do you. Neither do you.
look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has...
I think that either plan would make the economy worse than what it is already, to be honest. The economy... Listen. The economy is good right now, but it's not great. It's good right now, but it's not great. And yeah, I've looked into the plan that she wants to have put in place, or that she wanted to have put in place. Excuse me, because she lost. But if she did win, the main thing, like the plan that she wanted to have was, she wanted to strengthen the economy. She wanted to try to make the economy somewhat better. But like, I mean.
said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates.
I would say yeah. I would say yeah.
Have described his.
But he's probably when he's not having to take his anti-anxiety medication, he's probably going to end up having to work on that, because there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, you better work on improving it. You better work on improving it. You better work on improving it.
Economic plan as something that would increase inflation.
Like, when he was president the first time in 2017, he rarely did anything for the economy at all. So, I mean, if he didn't do anything for if he did not really do much for the economy then, what makes people think that he's going to do a lot for the economy now? He's not. He doesn't care about the economy.
And by the middle of next.
And the reason why I'm saying that he doesn't care about the economy is because he's rich enough as it is himself. This is, a man who is literally a billionaire. He doesn't. He only wants to line his own pockets. He only wants to line his own pockets with the help of Wall Street, with the help of other big big spenders, big spenders. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not going to react to more of that because it's a waste, and I got some other things to do. So yeah. This is going to be the only time that I go over anything political on this channel because I know that people don't want to hear my opinion on that stuff, and I don't like giving my opinion on that type of stuff anyways. But yeah, before I go, I will say, yeah, we are definitely going to be a lot worse with Trump in office now, in my opinion, than we were the first time that he became president. And because of how wild people are, I think that, I mean, he did lose in 2020. He may lose again, may or may not, when the next election happens. I don't know, nor do I give a fuck. But yeah, bye.